Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning. This is the final part of our lecture on manufacturing operations. Okay, so in the previous video we have shown how do we calculate the cost of manufacturing using a schedule, and that cost of goods sold will be used, cost of manufacturing will be used to calculate the cost of goods sold in the income statement. So here you have calculated the cost of goods manufactured. This is transferred into the income statement, which is here. Next, the company would produce its balance sheet, and we have mentioned through passing that there are several types of inventory. I'm not sure if you have captured all the types of inventory. So the first one on the right side, okay. First one, we have the finished goods inventory, or the items that have been manufactured. So whether they could be the beginning inventory of finished goods, or they can be the ending inventory of finished goods. Okay, so that's the first part. And then the second part we can understand is from this one, is that it is the raw materials of inventory, those items that we purchased from our suppliers in order for us to use in our manufacturing process. This will be under the direct labor, okay, direct material, okay. And thirdly is the work in process. These are after we conduct our manufacturing process, there are still some items, some products which have not been finished. They are still halfway through, so those are called work in process inventory. So this is the raw materials. You can see very small stuff, okay, like here you have the cloth, you have the urethane, you have all the wires, okay. But the work in process is the boat, but the boat is still incomplete, okay. We have the seat not yet assembled in the boat. So this is a working version of the inventory. We have not completed the inventory, but this one is the finished inventory. You see, all these are completed. Okay, the boat or yacht. Okay, what do you call this? Okay, the boat is complete. Okay, so you have based on this picture, you can I think you can really easily understand these are raw materials. This is partially finished. These are completely finished. So these three categories of inventory must be disclosed in our balance sheet. We must show in our balance sheet that we have these three kinds of inventory. Okay. Whereas for a merchandising company, it only shows one category of inventory, because what they do in merchandising is that they purchased finished items from other companies, and then they resell the same items, only repackaging sometimes. Okay, so it's only one kind of inventory. But for manufacturing company, they have three kinds of inventory: the raw material inventory, the work in process inventory, and the finished goods inventory. Therefore, we should reflect this in our balance sheet. We compare between the two types of companies. One on the left side is the merchandising company. It only has one inventory, okay, which is the inventory that they purchase from the supplier, but those things have not been sold throughout the period. Therefore, it becomes an ending inventory. But for manufacturing company, they have three kinds of inventory. They have the finished goods, they have the work in process, and they have the raw materials. So again, raw materials are items that they bought from their supplier. Some of them are used in production, some of them are not used. Therefore, the not used ones will be included as the raw material inventory. And then when they go through the manufacturing process, some of those items were not finished by the end of the period. So those items that have not been finished will become the work in process inventory. And then when they have finished the items, some of those items that have been completed are sold, but some are not sold. So those remaining items that are not sold will be the inventory of finished goods here. Okay, so this will be the difference between the manufacturing company and the merchandising company in terms of their inventory. So inventory, there's one inventory is split into 3 types. Okay, and that concludes our lecture on manufacturing operations.